Okay, well, hello, Regina Gulbinas.
Hi.
Welcome back.
I'm excited to be back, actually, very much so.
I am so excited to have you back, and I am so excited about the conversation that we're going to have. And before we go into that, I want to introduce our audience to this very special lady who has been here before, about a year ago.
Yes.
And your show was called Money. Do you remember?
Money Mastery? No, money something with money and mastering cash flow.
Right. So Regina is a financial mastermind coach.
Thank you.
And I had the honor to work with her personally. And actually, my husband did some work with you, which was very enlightening. We learned so much. And it was just interesting to see what a difference, and a good advice, or a coach. How important to have a coach,
Yes.
in order for business to be successful,
Yeah.
and even more successful than you think, because we all have blind spots.
Yes.
And I think that's primarily why we need someone like you. It's like we talked before. It's like a dating game, where
Yes.
you out there to find your mate, and you're having trouble, and you don't understand why, and you don't know what to do, and you're kind of embarrassed, and that's exactly what you do. You come to a business owner who is it's very personal for them. Business
Yes.
for them is
Yes.
super personal.
It
They
is.
work really hard, and they think they can be successful. And then they come to the point and go, "Oh my God, why am I not there? Why is my plan is not working?" And so I would like for you to tell our audience of TLA, and again, thank you very much, TLA, for hosting us. And this is such a pleasure. And by the way, this is an amazing setup, wouldn't you say?
I love it. It's such a change. It was great before, but now this environment, just the energy, the whole setup where we can see one another better, it's beautiful. I'm very excited for this. Very excited. Yeah.
Very refreshing. It's and we can have more people here. We can have a whole conversation and have a panel and bring experts and business people and coaches, and then just opportunities are endless. It really is endless. I'm very, very excited. So bringing you back, I would like for you, Regina, to tell us, who is Regina? How did you arrive to being a financial coach? And what? Share with us. Like, how did you start?
Sure. So for the last 19 years, I've been a life and business strategist. So basically, for the last 17 years. Well, the first 17 years of the 19, I only focused on reorganizing struggling companies, helping them through reorganization, whether it was a bankruptcy. I'm not an attorney or CPA. I am a business strategist, life and business strategist. So I focused 100% of my focus, my attention went into that. I've worked with over 100 businesses, well over 70 Chapter 11 cases, just helping people get back into the cash flow, into being profitable, into being successful, helping people keep their doors open, so on and so forth. The last 2 years, I realized, and lucky I did that because COVID hit, the last 2 years, I felt this intuitive nudge to move a lot of my business online and started helping online entrepreneurs start and scale their businesses. And who could have predicted COVID, right? And so many businesses closed, and luckily I've moved most of my business in the online space. So now I still work with businesses offline, but it's more kind of on a download. I don't advertise, I don't reach out to people. They refer me. It's all referral based, never really advertised. And I still take businesses offline, and I love working with online entrepreneurs now as well. I get to package my knowledge, I get to sell it, I get to teach them to do the same. I run programs, I finish them, and I go on to the next exciting program. And so I'm doing both now, and I'm loving it. The way I came into this, honestly, God had a plan for me. I don't have a different explanation. God had a plan. God had a purpose. I don't really have formal education. You know, like one of those stories you hear people, they just did something. You're like, how did you do this?
Right.
God gave me certain skills, tools, and abilities, and put the right people in my path to help me activate them and to help me lean into my gift. So I just have a natural ability to walk into any company that's struggling and literally in 30 seconds know what needs to be done for them to be healthy again. So it just, what I did do is I cultivated my gifts. I didn't turn away from this. So I really dove into my original blueprint, into the divine, because I do believe we all have a certain assignment, so to speak. This one is mine.
Exactly. So let's just to get to know you better.
Yeah.
Because you know, I have a belief that we like to do business with people that we like,
100%.
and people that we really know a lot about. And so why don't we, you know, if you don't mind sharing, you know, taking back, you know, from the point where you're a mother with today 2 adult children.
Yes.
And you know, let's take you back where your children were little and you were busy taking care of your kids and raising them. From what point did you realize that you have a gift, and why did you have to actually working and doing that? Like what happened to you?
How did I know that this was the gift?
Right.
So ever since I was a young kid that I could go back to remembering myself, I knew that there was something different in the way I functioned. Not better, but different.
Right.
I always connected to people that were always much further ahead of my age, much further ahead of my time. There was this connection. I understood things differently. I processed them differently. And I'm very like an old soul, and many people have told me that as well. So I connect to people. I have the ability to connect to people at the very deep human level, not at the surface level, but at the deep level. I believe that's what's really kept me in what I do for almost 20 years. It's the ability to connect to the human being. Because you're right, if people don't like me, if they don't trust me, they are not going to trust me with their business, because their business is their life.
Right.
I think people don't really understand that somebody's business is their livelihood.
Right.
This is how they live. This is how they support employees.
Right.
It feeds so many people. So I knew I had a gift, and I was always very restless because I never felt like I really fit in these little jobs I had. I was never an employee personality.
What kind of jobs did you have?
I'll tell you. Well, first of all, I made my first money when I was 11 because I was just, I loved the process, right? I understand it. And we were in Italy immigrating at that time. I wasn't even in the U.S. I figured out how to make money because I wanted ice cream and all the stuff kids want. So I figured out how to make money then. And I worked when I was 14 on Melrose Avenue, actually. I wanted a job. School was not for me. I did not understand the need. I did not understand the value of basic education. 2 + 2 is 4. I mean, give me something I can use in life.
Right.
I'm not saying school is bad. I think it's fantastic. I think a lot of people need it.
Right.
I will always tell my kids go to school until they're done. Then I'll tell them I think you could have been fine without it. But I was always looking for bigger and better, not better even financially, but something bigger to do with my life, something that made impact, something that brought some value to the table. That was more important to me, to feel complete at the end of the day.
Right.
And then I had a job. I worked at a privately held ATM company. We had ATMs all over the United States. I ended up, it was a department of, I think, was 11 people total. It was 10 men, it was 11 men in the department. One of the guys left because it was so intense. Only men wanted to work there. And most of the men were in reserves and military. So it was like very hardcore. And I ended up being the only woman. I said, I want to go there.
Right.
There was way too much drama in the other departments. I don't like drama. I said, put me with the guys. So I was very successful there, advanced fast. Then I got a job I worked in a bank as a teller. I was really, really fast because I had to work with people and money, which is my specialty.
Right.
And then I got a job by chance at a company that was going through a Chapter 11 reorganization. And I remember calling my ex-husband at the time, and I said, look, I just did an interview. This place is a complete dump. I've never worked in a place like this, but I know I need to be there. I just know I need to be there. I went through 3 interviews, and they were going through organization. They were going through the process. They were being helped by somebody who ended up being my mentor for 17 years. And I went back for about 6 months to the point of practically being fired. And I said, because they hired me as a bookkeeper.
Okay.
And I learned accounting by myself because I understood money. So I just learned, I knew how to move money.
It made sense to you.
It made very easy sense to me.
Yeah.
Because I understand people and money. And I went back for about 6 months. I said, I want to try reorganizing companies. Because the guy who was helping reorganize this company I was at also employed the CEO because he was so brilliant to help organize other companies he had. And I went back for 6 months, said, I know what you guys are doing, want to be a part of it. I was 24 years old.
So wait, so this is the gentleman who was your mentor for 17 years. Do you want to mention his name?
I don't know if you'd like me to say
okay, so we'll keep that private. But he was your mentor, and he basically put you, this is where you realize that this is what you are set to do.
Well, I knew before then because I naturally, I'm extremely good with people and money because I understand money beyond the number. I understand how money happens. I understand the relationship between people and money. So that's why I was really good and advanced really fast at all of my jobs because I could connect people and money very, very, very well. But there was something about that place that I knew that this is actually my blueprint because it was much bigger than reorganizing companies. It was making an impact really in people's lives. Because it's one thing to watch somebody go through, from a sideline, watch somebody go through organization. It's something else when you're in it and you're watching marriages fall apart, hundreds of employees being left without a job, divorces, kids that are doing extremely poorly emotionally. This is a lot of stuff that people don't really realize what it means. And I have chills as I'm saying this because how often do you get an opportunity to have such an impact on somebody's life?
Right.
You help one company. The biggest company I worked with had 350 employees. So you think about it, you're not just helping a company. Each employee is responsible for 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Like there's thousands of people involved. So I understood the grand scale of things.
Right.
Plus, I knew that I knew that I'm here to do a job that doesn't really exist. I just kind of knew that. So this was a very long answer to a short question.
No, this is a very this is an inside information.
Yeah.
You know, this is what this is who you are. This is how you observe and how you estimate of what what needs to be done. So I completely understand every word that you're saying because I come from a similar industry where I worked for 30 years for a company where I was in human resources interviewing people for specifically in the field of sales. So I'm always, I understand that, money is if the company has no money, there is no company.
Yes.
And basically, employees of a company are basically they are the tools, that create money. If you have happy employees, they're more productive and they're happy to be there. Money will flow better and everybody's happy. So that's why I understand, we work together well on that premise that, we'll, in order for company to profit, all angles, all corners have to be, nothing
covered. Yep.
Covered. There's a very, very good book. I don't remember the author name, but it's called "Who Moved My Cheese?" And I don't know if you're familiar with the book. It's a very popular salespeople, read this book, and actually business owners. It's about not ignoring the signals, not ignoring the signs that a lot of us will say, oh well, he didn't say hello to me this morning. My manager came in and he was not friendly. And you as a boss, you can't ignore any of it because you have to be on top of things.
Yes, because you're responsible. You're responsible.
Right. You're not just responsible for yourself now. You're responsible for the company and then the people that work for you.
Well, it's a good point because I do believe that, I had this discussion with somebody recently. We are responsible because the employees are trading their time for a dollar, trusting us as the CEOs to make the right decision to keep the job, to keep the business going, right?
Exactly.
They're saying, I trust you to make right decisions so my family can eat, and I will give you my hours and you give me a paycheck. So this is a transaction. This is a trade.
Right.
So yeah, the CEO has to be responsible and aware, but I've seen very many CEOs who are very disconnected from a lot of parts of their business, because a lot of small business companies, the owner has to wear 50 hats per day and they don't have time to babysit everything else.
Right.
Bigger companies have the cash flow for the infrastructure to hire top management, to hire the best people. A lot of small business owners don't have the cash flow to hire the best of the best who really are employees but have a CEO mindset.
Right.
So
you basically, your guidance and is for someone, for who? Who is your ideal client? Because many before you answer that, because many business owners will come to the point where they earn their, I don't know, their $100,000 a year, and they're happy there. After expenses, this is what they're left with, and this is working, and it's like the wheel is turning, and they have a steady income. And why touch something that doesn't give you issues?
Such a great question. Why go to an annual physical exam if nothing is hurting?
Yeah, it's a good metaphor.
Same thing, right? Because we don't know what we don't know. Everything in life has movement. If you're making 100,000 consistently, at some point, if certain things are not done, you're either going to scale back or you're going to move forward, because we have to constantly make adjustments. Life is very organic. We're by design from the beginning, we're made to evolve. Everything is made to grow and evolve, right? So how long can you be stuck at 100,000 a year putting in your pocket, profit after taxes, whatever you want to call it? At some point, you say you feel stagnant. You want to grow. How do you grow? In order to go from 100,000 to maybe $1 million in net profit, different decisions need to be made. And a lot of businesses that get into trouble is because they grow with the same level of knowledge and information that they got to 100,000. So the same bank of information doesn't necessarily get them to the next level.
Right.
But here's the biggest problem. A lot of people, and this is what I see with CEOs, a lot of people believe that asking for help is a sign of weakness. I actually believe asking for help and guidance is a sign of intelligence.
That's very nice. I agree. It's very true.
It's not a sign of weakness. This is where the ego comes in play and people lose their companies. I have seen federal courts take companies away from people because they've made, like, literally, a customer will walk into with a company and walk out without it. It happens like that.
Do you think that men specifically, because they say men are not, are not when they drive, they don't ask for directions. They don't. They avoid asking directions. Do you think, gender-wise, is there a difference? You think women are much more flexible and able to ask the question for help than men?
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to
yes, please do.
Absolutely. Men are ego-driven. Women are more survival-driven. When we are not, because by nature, from the beginning, we are created to feel safe. Women God made us, we need the feeling of safety.
Right.
We need a feeling of protection. The moment our safety is threatened, especially when we have kids, the moment we're like, my kids may not get to eat tomorrow, the ego doesn't exist. We go and we ask for help. Men are like, I'll figure this out. I got this, because if I'm asking for help, it's a sign of weakness. And I'm saying, no, it's a sign of intelligence, because you can stop the bleed and save your marriage way before it gets to millions of debt.
Wow, that's amazing, Regina. And that is the wisdom that's needed out there for all.
It's true.
All the men that are sitting and looking at their business, at their financial ledger, and don't understand, scratching their head like, what is going on? I work so hard. I get up in the morning at 5 a.m. I go to my business, and I have employees. I have customers. At the end of the day, I am negative.
Well, for men, it's also, especially if there's a family involved, it's not just the ego. It's, again, men, the way I still understand men, the way it's supposed to be,
right,
is they're responsible. A true man understands the sense of responsibility when he says, I do to his wife. He does. He takes care of her. He vows to take care of her, to protect her. So a lot of men, because I've had these intimate discussions with the men in their failing companies, they're like, we feel like we failed the wife. We feel like when we told our family, I'll take care of your daughter, we dropped the ball. How do I? So it's not just the ego. It's basically saying everything I stand for as a man, I can't back up because I'm failing. But the truth is, you're not failing. You just made some decisions with this much knowledge, and you needed this much knowledge. It's not a failure. It's not. I don't see it as a failure, because when we get hung up with the ego, when we get hung up on that's the failure. That's the failure. But for a lot of men, because I've watched them look at me, I've seen them cry, tell me, I don't know how to tell my wife that she trusted me to protect her, to keep her safe, and I completely screwed up, and I was filled with good intentions. So it's not just the ego, it's saying to the family or the families, look, I promised to take care of your daughter, and here I am, 5 million upside down. So this is much bigger than just that, because real men have a sense of responsibility.
Yes, absolutely.
Period.
You know, my favorite show on TV is The Prophet. I don't know if you get to
watch it. Yes, of course.
I love that. I think this is brilliant. Yes. Where this corporation owners that dress up like employees and go interview employees. Do you think this is an important thing to do for an owner?
Yes. I think there's a lot of important things for the owner to do. I believe they need to know where the employees stand, but they also need to be able to measure the information, because an employee will never truly understand the weight of a CEO. Because an employee cares to come in, if this is their job for the day, their responsibility is to come in, to fulfill this job, and to go home. The CEO comes in, he needs to make sure this is done and this is done, you know what I mean? So I believe it's important to interview the employees to know where things stand, see if there is a pattern, but it's also important not to get lost in it.
Got it.
Because employee has a perspective from an employee, because they really don't. An employee that's never really had a company will never understand the weight and a burden the CEO carries, because it's impossible to understand the weight of making the sales, making sure the margin is good, making sure the profit, making sure the taxes are paid, there is so many line items that a CEO, especially for a small business owner, they're responsible for all of that. Employees responsible for one thing a day, for a task. A CEO is responsible for all of it, and to make the right decisions so they have a paycheck.
That's very interesting. That's a lot of us that are in a field of we work for someone else. Mm-hmm. We don't see that. We don't understand that. This isn't in our. We want a safe place to work. We want to want a sure income. And we want to do something that we are more or less can enjoy doing and show production and we want to be praised for that. I think that's really important.
But that's a great point. Employees want to be praised for that, but typically if you ask employees, they always complain about the CEO. CEO wants to be praised too.
That's true.
Employees are typically, there is always something that people don't like.
It's like children and parents. Wouldn't you compare that to this kind of?
I'm glad you said it, because I didn't want to say it, so thank you for saying it. It's exactly the same way. If you ask my 24-year-old, now I'm a great mom. If you ask my 16-year-old, I suck all the time, right? Because she's 16 and I'm not.
Right.
And because there is rules and things need to be done a certain way.
Right.
Business is no different. People need rules, people need structure, and they don't like it. But if employees come in and just do whatever they want to do, how they want to do it, and you've got 20 people doing whatever they want to do, how they want to do it, Can you imagine a household with kids like that, or a business with employees like that?
I can't imagine. I have 2 children, and I don't know how I've raised. I think they've raised me more than I've raised them.
That happens.
It's just it boggles me. How did we're just slowly recovering from this pandemic that we've had for the past year, and we have been suppressed, and we've been locked, and we've been told not to do, basically. Not to live. On a daily basis, you wake up in the morning and you say to yourself, I can't do this and I cannot do this. So that's our new language to ourselves. How are you what are you seeing different from, because you've been doing this for the past more than a decade?
19 years.
19 years. So you can actually tell the difference. You can see how it was before the virus and how it is now. How has your industry changed?
I think the change is from helping people to reorganize to helping people get restarted. That's really the same, because people don't know, how do I go back? So the biggest way to go back right now, I always say that money is in the relationships, and people look at me like I'm weird. Money is in the relationships. This is where, if you've been good, if you run your business the right way, if you've been honorable, respectful, and loyal, this is where you open a business. You call people that you know and you say, how can we do this? How can we get back? How can we make money together? How can this be a win-win? And you start working with people that you know, that you have relationships with. That's the low-hanging fruit, I believe, right now.
So the difference between then and now, as far as there is not much changed. Business people stayed on the path of business, and they even more focused now. Am I understanding correctly?
I think they're more. I think more people now understand the gift of having a business.
Okay.
I think more people now understand the mistakes they've made in their business. They had a lot of time to sit back and think about it.
Okay.
I think a lot of people now more are understanding, appreciating relationships more.
Okay.
Because you need relationships to make money.
Okay.
Period.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are, sadly, most of the small businesses are not going to reopen. Most businesses did not have, a lot of small businesses don't have any reserve. They run on a cash in, cash out. You get $5 from Bill, you pay $5 to Bob. I mean, it's just how it is. They did not have the cash flow to sustain themselves, even with the basics.
They should have met you. I'm going to use those last 2 minutes that we have together to promote the show that you're going to have with us.
Yes, I'm excited.
And I am very excited, you guys. TLA is going to have an amazing, amazing financial coach, Regina Gulbinas, and I'm going to be on by her side. We're going to be talking about hiring. We're going to be talking about new business building. We're going to be talking about the mistakes that people make in business. We're going to talk about how the innovation and the digital advancement that everything is changing. Business is changing big time, and I look forward to that. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you.
And I'm so excited you're back with me. It's literally I'm so happy. Thank you so much for being here. And hey, you guys, thank you for joining us. This is Ilana Weinstein from Kan and Achshav. Shout out to Batsheva. Miss you, my friend. Come back safely. And I hope everybody's in Israel is safe, and you guys stay in LA safe as well. See you next time. We will be next with Dalia Urman, talking about what is happening here politically, and who is our friends and who is our enemies, and how do we deal with that. So till next time, see you soon. Bye-bye. All right, they're going to cut the rest of it, so off.
Oh my God, I can talk to you for hours.
I think
we need like a 5-hour show.
Huh?
I can talk to you nonstop.
We're done. We need to cut it off. Chaim. Sorry, Regina, I'm going to have to.
Who's here? Why you're not live? Hi, I'm Dahlia. I'm so bad at these things. I'm sorry. Don't take it personal. I don't remember anything. Yes. אבל אם אני עובדת במורה שהילדה שלי לא באה לצאת אותו במרקט, אני שם בלי up. I have no idea. Oh, you remember people. Yes. לא, סתם היינו אומרים, דליה לא אמרה שלום, אני אפילו לא ידעתי that I know you. אני לא זוכרת. Now I learned שמישהו בא אליי לדבר ואני רואה שחושבים שאני מכירה. אפשר להגיד, אני מכירה מאוד, תזכירו לי. Sorry, אתם מוכרים לי, אבל תזכירו לי. כן. אני באמת לא זוכרת. Oh, he's I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm calling Donna. Mila's on the Zoom.
Okay. It's still on, but they're gonna have to clean it up, so I'm not sure exactly what their situation is. This was great. Thank you, Regina. I think, well,
I feel like I can talk to you for hours on end.
we can. It's money. It's business. It's Dalia, text, what's his name? Hi.
I don't know who Chaim is.
Just text him to, I'm gonna get the email of you like
I gave it, I did.
to Chaim?
I don't know who Chaim is. I can't put a guess name if I don't know. I put it here. Here.
No, they don't.
Copy. I don't know how am I supposed to know all this?
You're not supposed to know.
Exactly. What's the phone number? I need to be set up on Zoom for my show, and it's coming up at 2 p.m. And no one's here at the station. Who's Chaim? Okay, what's his phone number? You should have it in your phone. Put notes in your phone. Because then you can search by comment or by word. It's really terrible that no one's here. They said, oh, we're gonna be organized, we're gonna be professional, and the same thing is happening. I understand, but they didn't teach us. You know, loyalty meant for anything.
Oh.
Chaim, what's the number?
68818.
One second,
668.
one second. I have to. 818? 818? Sorry.
668.
668.
7149. I'm trying to find out the last
מה זה? לא, צודקת. ברור.
אם יש למשרד אחר, לבקש מאחד העובדים, אבל אני לא רוצה לפתוח.
לא, צודקת. הטרזיטו very nice.
מאוד קשה, דני. מאוד קשה.
אני יודעת מהבית שלי.
צ'אלנג'ינג, תקשיבי, לא פשוט בכלל.
מאוד קשה לה.
יום אחד את מצליחה ואת מרגישה גיבורה.
למחרת
you have tons of challenges, ואת אומרת, I ruined everything.
No, you didn't ruin. You just need to re-catch yourself.
כל הזמן.
Catch. זה לא ruin. כמו לכולנו. Oh my God, where the fuck is someone that can help? Not him, not Donna.
No, Donna's on her way. She's gonna be at 1:45.
What are you talking about? It's what time is it? Oh,
No,
it's
we're
1:36. Sorry, I thought it was later. Sorry. For some reason, I thought that we were running really late. On my whole day, I was up till 3 in the morning. Why? Because there's 150 guys on the chat with my son, with a lot of Israelis. They wanted to go out on the streets with guns and knives on.
Next door, literal next door Gelson's.
Fucking Tintumas
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
If we go out?
Yeah, I'll go again.
It's right there.
Okay, so you let me know. Are we starting next week with
We're gonna have I'm gonna go shower.
אני מקווה שנתחיל את זה ונשים גם אנחנו אותי.
Westlake Village.
Yeah, I just posted to you tomorrow already the birthday for one of the girls in there, so I just posted.
Not going to that area.
I just put it in the group. I said what's going on. מה נסגר?
לא, להעביר את זה למקום אחר.
Yeah.
בצד אחד אח שלי אמר לי, אסור לנו כיהודים לפחד, מה זה אסור?
Well,
Right, exactly, כי זה מה שעשו
זה מפחיד.
בגרמניה, they sat down quietly, they shut their mouth, we can't be quiet, אבל יש גם, it's really scary,
זה מפחיד.
sorry, it's really scary, תראי מה קורה באנגליה, שמעת?
שמעתי שהם מחפשים בתים מזוזות.
כן.
No, we lost, זה איבד שליטה. זה כבר לא ישראל ועזה. זה כבר יהודים בלי קשר לכלום. Just to go in the streets and who is Jewish, you see, raise your hand and they throw it like, come on.
Yeah. The police didn't do anything last night.
עצוב. מאוד עצוב. מאוד עצוב. מסוכן מאוד.
Me.
With Dahlia.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Are you hungry? Okay.
Not really,
Okay.
I'm not, especially with unvaxxed or whatever.
Yes, okay. You are living a risky life.
And
Okay.
I'm not into
Living on the edge.
This is Ilana.
Hi,
This is
Ilana.
Talia.
Daniela Bo,
Gamla
nice to
jest
meet you.
please on Facebook.
I actually follow
And I might bring her to the station.
love hearing that. Yes.
So I want her to come and do a show here
Yeah.
too.
I mean, I have
maybe.
my own show, but this might be a great place for it.
It's a great place.
Yeah.
Once it's organized, it'll be amazing.
Yeah, it's
Right
all
now,
new,
yeah.
we're at the baby steps, that's why I told
Amazing.
you, that's why I told
Yeah,
you, it's a
let's-
great time now.
So I'm gonna show you here for a second. If you look at the screen, Dahlia, I
Yeah.
think you should be looking there.
No, I'm looking at what's happening in
So
the city
you're
at
gonna be
this.
two, right? You guys gonna be
Yeah,
together?
Yeah.
but I have Elon on, right this minute, on Beverly Drive.
Elon is on Beverly Drive?
No, Elon's in the East Coast.
I mean, how is this allowed? What is going on?
Where's
this is not,
Jewish
this is
Lives
not
Matter?
okay.
Where is it?
Where is everybody? Where's the police?
Yeah.
What
They're
this
not,
is-
they didn't come
I
yesterday.
know, but we are organizing on Sunday.
Yeah.
Everyone's involved, including the Christians. It's gonna be
That's
great.
the most important,
Yeah.
actually, it's more important than the Jewish being there.
When is it?
It
Yeah,
is.
really
Sunday
is.
at 3.
Yeah,
No,
we're
it
gonna
actually
get
really
everybody.
is.
We need the dates, we need the time.
Okay,
Just
show
my
me really
hours
fast,
and
how am I gonna do
So
Zoom?
You're going to be two.
No, we're two and then Zoom, at the same time.
So the Zoom is gonna be behind you.
I know, but she's not here to set it up.
So he's gonna be here.
Who's gonna be here?
Chaim.
אלוהים ישמור, where is he? הוא אפילו לא ענה לי.
Now take a breath. Breathe, okay? Because nobody be after you, so you.
Where
have
am I?
So Zoom, you girls are sitting here, okay? Those are
Oh,
the two-
because the Zoom is
The
there?
Zoom is exactly.
Okay, right.
Jesus, I'm so, upset about yesterday.
I'm gonna match you. I'm gonna take off my jacket and be sexy.
מי זה אנדרו? אני לא מכירה את האנשים אפילו, I don't even know what the hell.
Be busy at work. תהיה עסוקה בלעבוד.
Yeah, I am.
To be productive.
This is. Wait, this just went some weird. Oh.
So this is your location.
Actually, I forgot to bring my iPad. I just brought my computer, which is this is high. I didn't realize I can use my lower one.
You sent Chaim the email? For
I
the-
did, but how's that helping me if somebody doesn't answer? I did, yes. Correct. באמת עשיתי את זה. זה לא עוזר לי בשום דרך. Everything is new here.
Yeah.
So don't take it personal.
That's
It's just
fine.
a
I'm-
little unorganized.
Yeah, it's nice
We
to
were
have a
getting
studio.
there. We're getting.
Yeah.
But isn't it nicer to be in a thing like
I
this?
literally was just talking to a producer, and he's like, I really don't like you on Zoom. You need to be in a studio. And,
And
then
this
hearing
is
your
a
phone
great
call is.
studio.
Yeah. I want to see how it's going to work with Zoom because
Yeah,
a lot
of
of our
course.
guests are on Zoom too.
Yeah.
So let's see how it goes.
So if you look at the screen, Dahlia, over here. You
Mm.
wanna go
Yes,
to
I
the
do
side?
want.
So if you look at the screen, you can see so where you're gonna be sitting. Like this is where it is. This is how they have it.
I know, but her head is in the back. Lavina. But somebody should be here at all times. This doesn't make sense to me. When I come in, everything should be done that I walk in, sit down, and just start.
How it used to be.
Do you understand? Yeah, but no, meaning that they do it. It used to be that we did it. I don't wanna do it. I don't wanna play with buttons. I don't wanna touch it. And yesterday I had. So maybe we should do a meeting tomorrow because this is very unorganized. It's 1:45. Yes. I have a show coming up, and Elon is waiting. That's Elon. Again, I can't tell people like, you know. Hi Elon, מה שלומך? How are you? Thank God, בסדר. Two things. We're waiting for someone in the station right this moment to come in and set up the Zoom, and I'll send you the link. Because everything is new here. And how do you want me to introduce you?
You can introduce me like more president and founder of Student Supporting Israel.
Okay. And how do you pronounce your last name?
Daniel Nikov.
Sinyelnikov?
כן, יש
Oh.
בזה שתי הברות.
Okay, בגלל זה אני לא יכולתי to figure it out, כן. Sinyelnikov, okay. לא יודעת אם אתה מותקן על מה קורה ב-LA. We had a lot of vandalism last night.
בטח, ראיתי אתמול, ראיתי את כל הסרטונים.
Yeah.
סטודנטית כמה.
Okay, כן. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about, כן. יש לי עוד מישהי בסטודיו איתי, קוראים לה דניאל, יש לה גם תוכנית כזאת?
Yeah, we met before.
Oh, you guys have met before, actually. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're just waiting for someone to come to send you the Zoom link and to set us up. Everything is brand new here, not like when you were here.
מצוין, טוב.
יופי, so just stand by. Sorry about that.
אז בארבע אני עולה, עוד רבע שעה?
אני מקווה שהם פה, כן, אני אהיה איתך בקשר עוד 10 דקות, משהו כזה.
אוקיי,
תודה. ביי.
ביי.
Do you speak Hebrew or not?
Yeah, I speak. יש לי מבטא, אבל אני מדברת.
It's fine, I'm just curious.
Where's he calling from? Is he on the East Coast?
Yes. Let me see something. I want to see the camera if I'm sitting here. No, it's too tall.
How can you tell what's being filmed? Is it? Oh,
I'm
it's
just
on
looking at
your-
my regular camera
see.
right now just
Yeah.
to see what I'm. This one's too short.